Development of homegrown IT solutions is important in a country's efforts to promote job creation and steer economic growth. In tandem with this, the ICT Authority under the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology implemented the Kenya Transparency Communication and Infrastructure Project as an ICT-based business incubation program meant to transform ideas into competitive, wealth-creating and sustainable businesses.
So we launched the Digital Content Grant in 2010, and when we were doing the local Digital Content Grant, we didn't know how the response was going to be. Actually, a program like this hadn't been done in Africa before, even in the world actually, where a government was giving these seed funding to startups. So we didn't know what the response was going to be, and we started out by doing a lot of marketing. We held events for startups, to take the name, the Tandaa Grant name out there, to let them know what the Ministry of ICT and the ICT Authority was doing. And we were very encouraged by the response.
The project was named Tandaa. Many startups pitched their products to benefit from the multi-billion project. Some of the firms that benefited from the funding included the Kenya Bus, Virtual City and Tenders Unlimited.
In 2009, in 2010, this was not really the word out there. So people were so surprised to hear that we had over 2,000 people participating in this competition, and we were delighted.
One of the successful firms, Kenya Bus, a Nairobi-based information providing company, runs a website, www.kenyabus.com, and a weekly newsletter that provides information on movies, events, parties, as well as art and culture.
We've been in existence for 8 years, obviously, and in the year 2010 is when we won the Tandaa Grant to develop an app version of what we do on our website. So currently we have a website, we have newspapers, newsletters, but we felt the need to have what we have in those media on an app. And we applied for the grant, and we're very happy and honored to receive it from the ICT board. Hence, we developed Kenya Bus Raha, the app.
It also focuses on fashion and sports. Kenya Bus has also entered the ticket selling service, according to Damaris Ogweyu, the managing director. Another beneficiary, Virtual City, a technology firm that develops and delivers mobile solutions across the agriculture and supply value chain. The grant helped Virtual City to develop a solution for agricultural sector, closing a data gap that makes it hard for banks and other financial institutions to give credit to farmers.
We received funds from Tandaa in 2012, primarily to address a gap in the market. We've been doing a lot of supply chain work for the last maybe 10 years before that. What we did with the funds is we built a product called Researcher. And what Researcher is a data collection tool that works on Android and Windows and allows our customers to pick up non-transactional data on their customers. So if you're talking to farmers, then you're talking about baseline. If you're talking about kiosks, you're talking about route mapping. If you were to meet, for example, a farmer in Nyanyuki, and you're trying to get a feel of what our product would do, we'd be asking ideally questions like their demographics, so their age, what crops they plant, which seasons they plant those crops in, how much money they get from those crops. Because what we're trying to do is create a profile of every farmer. We want to understand a farmer not just on the surface. We want to try and understand a few more things about the farmer that ideally will be used by somebody else down the value chain. For example, like a bank, to make a loan decision.
On the promotional side, Tenders Unlimited has been the premier opportunity listing firm in Kenya, offering members access to business opportunities on a premium model. The startup won $50,000 through the local digital content Tandaa Grant. The funds were used to enhance the solution and build a mobile application.
We received some funds from the Tandaa Digital Grant, which was a competition that ran in 2013, there 12-13, and we were lucky enough to be selected as amongst the beneficiaries or the grantees. It was really a lifesaver for us because we had tried looking for money. We had tried even going to banks for loans without success.
This pilot program was spread out over a period of 3 years and did not only include physical incubation plant, but also the development of virtual incubation services, which will benefit those not privileged to access physical incubation.
So out of the 2,000, though, for the first round, we were only picking 15 grants. So of the 2,000 people that applied or participated in the call for proposals, only 15 were successful in getting the grant the first round. We did a second round in 2012, and there we decided to double the amount of grants we were giving, and we gave 30 grants in 2012.
The journey to providing such great services to Kenyans has not been a walk in the park, with inevitable challenges.
When we started with the app, some of the challenges we faced were obviously the technical support. We had very few people who could work with Android and come up with the kind of product that we wanted. So just getting the right people was extremely difficult. And when we finally did, actually we spent a lot of the grant money just looking for the right people, because somebody would come in, develop the app, then it's not working quite as it should be. Then I think at that time the Android technology was just now launching into the market, so there were not many people who knew how to do it. And of course we had certain standards that we wanted. So we did have a lot of back and forth, and it took a lot longer to have the app up and running just because we couldn't get the right people. But when we finally did get the right person, we got the app up and running. Unfortunately, it's been running for about 2 years, but at some point within those 2 years, it shut down, because what it does is it draws information from our website, and our website uses a language called Python. So again, to get a Python developer in the country was also very tricky.
Ali Omar of Attenders Unlimited and Herbert Thuo of Virtual City acknowledged the grants were professionally rolled out, which was a great achievement. However, they would love to see an increased government involvement to ensure many people bid for and succeed in winning the grants. Tandaa Project Coordinator Kaburo Kobia notes that while the concerns of the guarantees were valid, especially the need for technical support, the ICT authority was not in a position to offer a go-to market support because the architecture of the project did not provide for that. There appears to have been a consensus that the project would have done better if 1. Call for grants should have been communicated adequately to all parts of the country. 2. The application process should have been more simplified. 3. Funding milestones should have been replaced with lump sum payments. 4. Release of funds for winners should be planned in advance. And lastly, funding should be more diversified to cater for both the startups and existing businesses.
Digital Content Grants was a really fantastic program, and I'm really glad that the ICT Authority was able to do such a program to support the ICT sector. It's important for us to fund startups, to fund young people who are beginning their businesses, and to give them the very first funding that they will get, the seed funding. So for me, what I hope is that the government will continue to pay attention to the startup, to the person who's just beginning their company, who wants to be an entrepreneur and needs just that little bit of cash that they can get started with their business and bring their product or their service to the customers in Kenya. Now, Kenyans have fantastic ideas. They really have great solutions that Kenyans would really benefit from. But for those products to get to the Kenyans, we need to fund the entrepreneurs.
All in all, Tandaa Project has lived to its driving motto that with the Kenya ICT Authority's grants initiative, possibilities are endless.